Hello, this is Hunter Wallace, and today I'm going to give you 5 reasons why Southerners should support the dissolution of the Union. First, under the Constitution of the United States, the federal government is supposed to protect the states from invasion. Instead, the Obama administration protects the invaders from the states. It taxes the citizens of the states and distributes the loot to the invaders. That's your government. Second reason. This government is a sectional despotism. This is a Yankee government, not a popular government. It is a government of the North against the South, joined in by the blacks, by the Jews, by the Hispanics, and by the Asians. In this government, we no longer have a democracy that resolves issues. In our democracy, we have ethnic groups and cultural groups and religious groups lining up against the South, voting against us as ethnic groups for a larger and more consolidated government. We have, in our government, as I said before, is content to let in millions of foreigners and to openly take their side. And these foreigners are only going to reinforce this northern sectional despotism. Third reason. This government explicitly discriminates against Southern whites. It explicitly favors the blacks and the foreigners over the Southern whites. There's no end to this discrimination in sight. It has been upheld by the Supreme Court twice now. And now that Obama has been reelected, he'll stack the Supreme Court with liberal justices who will extend affirmative action forever. So, under this union, there is no end to the discrimination against Southern whites. 4. In every election, the South votes for a more conservative society. But in this union, the only people, except for the people who live in the far west who are conservative, are Southerners. The South is overwhelmingly conservative. If we seceded from this union, we could have the more conservative government that we desire tomorrow. Why should we stay around in this union and engage in this endless contest with the Northeast, which has been liberal and has voted for a bigger and larger, more consolidated government in literally every election since the unfortunate creation of this union? And the last reason that we should support the secession of the South from the United States. As conservatives, as Southerners, we are a permanent minority in a union that is based on majority rule. In a union which, as I said before, you have ethnic groups voting against ethnic groups, racial groups voting against racial groups, cultural groups voting against cultural groups, the non-religious voting against the religious. These elections are nothing more than head counts of races, of ethnicities, of people who are dependent on the government, of different cultures, of different religions. And we're the permanent minority in this union. From here on out, as millions of foreigners, as the Obama administration and the Yankees let in millions of foreigners to swamp states like Texas and Florida and North Carolina and Virginia and even Georgia and South Carolina, as the Obama administration lets in millions of these foreigners, it's going to reinforce this sectional despotism, and we will never, ever have the type of conservative society that we desire through any election. The only process which can create a real conservative society in Dixie is through secession. That's why, if you are a conservative white Southerner, you should support the secession movement and you should sign your state petition. And you should also consider joining the League of the South. Thank you.